Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troll.
(1973 to 1976). Welcome back, baseball fans. 1973-76 Carryover League. We got a series today in the highly contested and very talented National League North between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals, and what is turning into a developing story. I'll just lead you right into it. Game one of this best-of-7 series opens up in Pittsburgh, Three Rivers Stadium. Cardinals at Pirates. John Curtis for the Cardinals, Bruce Kison for the Pirates. The Cardinals get their game going early. After a couple outs, they didn't get a walk, 2 singles, another walk for a run. And in the second inning, they get a single, a walk, a 3-run homer by Bake McBride, a single, RBI double Ted Simmons, 5 zip cards. They got another run in the third inning. Kison's chased after 5. It's those 6 runs. In the bottom of the 5th, the Pirates do get a run off of John Curtis with a George Theodore homer, make it 6-1. In the 8th inning, in what might be considered garbage time, Frank Lindsay in the Cardinals bullpen gets knocked around for 6 hits and 3 runs as the Pirates try and make this close. But then Al Robowski slams the door in the 9th inning, ending that comeback. Cardinals get the road win 6-4. Curtis wins. Kison loses. Robowski gets the save. Game 2. Pirates won't even this thing up at home, you'd think. But we have Bob Forsch for the Cardinals. We have Alan Foster, actually a former Cardinal, former Padre, for the Pirates, but a nice acquisition. In this game, it's early scoring by both teams. Moreno single steals a base, scores in a single. Parker gets an RBI single. It's 2-zip. But the Cardinals come back. Back-to-back doubles by Ted Simmons, Joe Torre. RBI single, Lou Brock, 2-2. And then in the third inning, very curious inning, you get a walk, you get a foul out to the catcher on a catcher's X. Then you get a double, second and third. You get a pass ball catcher's X to score a run on a pass ball. Then you get a walk to put runners on the corners. And then you finish the inning with the third one. And in one inning, catcher's X and another pass ball. I don't think I've ever seen this happen. But you get 2 pass ball runs scoring off of a very good catcher, Manny Sanguillen, and a tremendous bit of bad luck for the Pirates. 4-2 lead, and then the 9th inning, both teams unload on each other's bullpen. The Cardinals get 4 in the 9th to make it 8-2, but then the Pirates rally almost. They get the tie run up, but they just fall short in another rally attempt for the Pirates, who, frankly, in this game, at least early on, they had so many opportunities, and that's what the Pirates season is turning into here. But they're turning into a bunch of singles hitters who don't run the bases very well either. It's single, 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 single. Then they get some extra base hits in the 9th inning, but lose 8-6. This is a big move. 2 road wins for the Cardinals with the worst record in the National League a year ago. Had a great offseason, are playing well this year. Game 3, Pirates at St. Louis Busch Stadium. Jim Rooker for the Pirates against Jackie Brown, a player the Cardinals signed away from the Texas Rangers or the Cleveland Indians, both squads in the 70s. Jackie Brown gets a start. Cardinals decide to sacrifice all their defense and move pieces around just to eliminate as many left-handed bats as possible against the tough lefty Jim Rooker, which means a lot of guys are playing out of position. Can they survive horrendous defense? Well, they put a bunch on base, hits off of the first baseman, the third baseman, and outfielder, but believe it or not, the Pirates can only get 1 run through 6 innings in a game where they scored 2 runs on 13 hits and 5 walks. It all fell apart in the 7th inning for Jim Rooker. You get single, and error on their third baseman, Richie Hebner, single, and you end up with a Ted Simmons 3-run homer. In what is suddenly a stunning development, the Cardinals, look, they're getting a lot of breaks in this thing. One of the breaks they're getting is that Lou Brock is getting on base a lot, and he can't be caught stealing in this. I think he's been caught once. He's accumulated a bunch of stolen bases at the top of the Cardinal lineup, and that has really ignited this offense. It is 3 straight wins for the St. Louis Cardinals, which leads us into a potential sweep, and this is a big deal for our league, as the Pirates were one of the foundational 5, as we can call it. The best 5 teams in the National League seem to have a big edge, and that would have been the Phillies, Reds, Pirates, Dodgers, Giants, all just smashing their opponents. Well, guess what, folks? Pirates started 10-2, and then they played the Reds, the Cardinals, an interleague series against Cleveland that they lost, and they've been humbled after the 10-2 start. They're 3-8, still in pretty good shape with a 13-10 record. But they fall a half game behind the Cardinals. Who caught them? They're a game and a half behind the Reds. So, is there a big 6 or is there a big 4? Depending on how you look on it. Is it really just the Phillies and the Reds, Dodgers, Giants, and maybe the Pirates and Cardinals? Neither are that great? What else do the numbers say? Well, we look at stats before I play this game, just for more clues. Looking at the net run differential for a 13-10 Pirates team, they scored 102 runs. They've given up 100. That's not good. Record 1 loss is good. Net runs isn't. Of course, there might be some blowout losses in there and some bad defense. Cardinals, they've scored 130 runs in 3 more games, but given up 128. Also not a particularly good run differential, and they've won +4. So, yeah, it's not the portent of great things to come, you would think, as the Pirates are stumbling and the Cardinals are taking advantage of it. But, hey, who knows, folks? After last year, this is like a fairy tale Cinderella season for the St. Louis Cardinals. They were the team that got beat up a year ago in this division by also the Cubs. The Cubs, the Reds, and Pirates all made the playoffs a year ago. And the Cardinals, of course, were the little bird that got knocked out of the nest. Things have changed. Times have changed. This is a big deal. If the Cardinals could end this today with a 4-game sweep and go a game and a half ahead of the Pirates and only 1 game behind the Cincinnati Reds as we move into the All-Star break, the Cardinals are be a contender. There are nice pieces here. It seems like they don't have a great defensive flexibility. There are guys, replicable players who often have to compromise playing time. It's just not a very flexible team. But they have players, when all are playing well, like Reggie Smith and Ted Simmons. When you get switch hitters in the middle of the lineup, it is so hard to match up. Do you go lefty? Do you go righty? You're stuck. And that's what the Cardinals are taking advantage of, with Smith and Simmons always batting back-to-back. Today's game for the Pirates, it is going to be John Candelaria, a lefty, 75, 121 innings, just getting started with a 2.75 ERA. He's really good against the righties, and he's okay against the lefties, and that might actually play into the Cardinals' hands a little bit, as the Cardinals are almost treating him like a right-handed pitcher today, and they're going back to that solid defense and the left-handed bats in the lineup, and leaving guys like Mike Adams, Jim Hart, and Ted Sizemore on the bench, more marginal players. See if it works. They won Game 3 without doing that, but they got really lucky. And the Cardinals, it's almost too much perfection, folks. Because he pitched the last game of the previous series, this is his first start of this one. And yes, we're talking about Bob Gibson. Gibby, 12-game winner in 73, a 277 ERA in 195 innings. We can call this his last great year. 74, he's good, and 75, he's bad. He's getting up there in age. He's still a starter 8, still dominates righties. John Candelaria getting started. Bob Gibson near the end. Very important game, suddenly, the National League. As the World Series contenders might be losing one, for all we know. So, let's get started from Busch Stadium. If the Pirates were able to win a game, or 2, or 3, or 4, that sort of comeback would show that, yeah, they can just call this a 3-game slump and recover from it and move on. So, we'll see how this plays out. Pirates have shuffled their lineup. Leading off is Richie Hebner. Hebner was moved, actually, in their 71-74 World Championship year. Anytime those Pirates slumped, they put Richie Hebner in the leadoff spot to kind of right the ship. And then they moved him around once they steadied that ship. But he's leading off today. Try and get a spark here. 33, he grounds to short. Rennie Stennett, 43, rolls to first X. Torrey's good there. He's a 2E15. He makes the play. Now, that would have been a 4E25 yesterday's game, but Torrey's back at first, where he was at third base yesterday. Al Oliver, 3-6 is a base hit. And Willie Stargell, 48, is a walk. Manny Sanguillen batting 5th today, and Richie Zisk is on the bench, a 324 hitter who's slumping, just to get an extra left-handed bat in the lineup. They've got a left-handed DH coming up soon. Sanguillen, 32, rolls to short. And once again, Pirates leave men on base. Don't get any extra base hits either. That has been a consistency in this. All right, fans on their feet. Lou Brock having a great series and suddenly leading the league in stolen bases. Back on track to, at least contend for the 100 stolen base and 162 game ratio for our league. We can check that out in the post game. But Lou Brock will lead off. 64 off of Candelaria, a triple 1-9 double. It's a 2-base hit for Lou Brock. Batting second, Tommy Harper, 44. Third X, and again, this is not good for the Pirates. Hebner's bad now at third base. He's a 4E33, but he makes the defensive play, and the runner doesn't even move up. That's a huge break. Now you got Big McBride. Normally sits against lefties, but Candelaria is not very dominant against them, so center X. In center field, you have Moreno's a 3E16. Eventually, he'll be very good out there, but right now he's not. But he makes the catch. And with 2 outs, it's Reggie Smith. 34, flies to center. So after the double, nothing for the Cards. Top of 2, it's the Cobra, Dave Parker. 38, single. Gene Lamont, a left-handed bat, a guy who would eventually manage the Pirates in the late 90s. 37's a strikeout. Larry Milbourne, 2-8 is a base hit to right field. The Cobra, 15 runner, will not take on Reggie Smith's -4 arm. First and second, Omar Moreno. 2-6, double 1-5. That's an RBI single, and the Pirates have a lead. Runners on the corners. With speed, Moreno. They're going to bring it up and hold for Richie Hebner. 110, center B question mark. This is Milbourne. They'll run him against McBride, and he will score. 2-zip. Moreno with 2 outs. Do you want to steal on the Simmons arm? Sure, let's try it. He is out on an 18. Well, couldn't get that runner in scoring position. So Stennett will lead off the next inning. 2-0 Pirates. Here is Ted Simmons. 59 off the Candyman is a short X. Milbourne's a 3E38. It's an error. And again, the Cardinals have the leadoff man on. Joe Torre, 33. Fielder's choice. Legs it out. Mike Tyson, 66. Double 1-8 fly ball. And that's a fly ball. That's what they like about the Candyman. He gets those righties out. Low batting average. There, it's triple 8 out, double 8 out, single 4 out in that column. 2 outs, man on for Mike Phillips. 1-4, rolls back to the mound. 2-zip in the third, it's Rennie Stennett. 1-7, single 1 of 10, can't get it. Al Oliver, 310, is a base hit. Willie Stargell, 1-9, is a fly ball to right. And with 2 outs, Manny Sanguillen, 410, left. Bottom of the third, it is Kenny Reitz. 3-6, double 1 of 10. It's a 2-base hit. Cardinals had the leadoff man on for the 3rd straight inning. Have yet to score. Lou Brock. 35, let's take a look at the card of Lou Brock. 1974, we got a AAA stealer here, folks. This is the year of 118 steals, a 306 average, 61 walks. Always wish there were more of those. Really torches right-handed pitching. He's still, decent, very decent against lefties. 35% usage. Had been sitting against some of the tougher lefties to get some of these right-handed thumpers in the lineup, but it seems silly to do when Lou could get on and steal bases. 3-5 for Lou Brock is a walk, but he's being blocked with Reitz at second. First and second for Tommy Harper. 2-10, flies to center. This is tough tests for John Candelaria. Remember, he's a rookie. He's a rookie pitcher here, and he's a big guy. He's trying to carry the torch here for the Pirates. He's put men on in all the innings. Big McBride, 33, lines a second, and with 2 outs, Reggie Smith, 410, center X. This is Moreno. He's a 3-16 in center field, and he squeezes it. So Candelaria gets tremendous help from his defense early on. They make everything except for that one error by Milbourne, but they get outs recorded by Hebner and a couple by Moreno in center. 2-zip in the 4th. It's Dave Parker. 37, single 101. You can't get it. Gene Lamont, 1-5, flies to right field. And Larry Milbourne, 66, is a base hit. Moreno, 69, flies to center. Bottom of the 4th. Ted Simmons. 3-6 is single 1 of 13. He gets it. Again, the leadoff man is on. Joe Torre. 6-11 off the Candyman. First X. Oliver is a 2-10 at first. And he cannot stay out of the double play. 3-6-3. Nice turn by Al Oliver. Pirate defense. Giving them the lead, keeping the lead in this game. Mike Tyson. 4-8. Pops to first. We go to the 5th. Back to the top of the Pirate order. Richie Hebner. 110 flies to center. Bernie Stennett. 2-8 is double 1 of 4. Base hit. Al Oliver. 1-7. Let's take a look at Al Oliver's card of 1976. The 323 average. I want to say that would be the highest for him in Pittsburgh. I think he eclipses it with the Rangers once and with the Expos, where he led the league in 82. Still an outstanding year for Al, and they use him in both spots, first base and in center field, and they flip their defense around. Sometimes Stargell will play first base, left field, or DH. Moreno sometimes in or out of the lineup. Ziska sometimes in and out of the lineup. Pirates are very deep, but somebody usually has to sit out in the game of moving chairs. What was that called? You walked around the chairs and they took a chair away and somebody couldn't sit down. I forgot. I'm getting too old here, folks. Anyway, Al Oliver, 1-7, double 1 of 8. It's a base hit. Stennett ends up at third. Runners are on the corners. They're going to play it back for the slow-footed Pop Stargell. 3-5 is a walk, and trouble for Gibson here in the 5th. He's loaded the bases with 1 out. And it's Sanguillen. Let's take a look at Manny Sanguillen before he swings away, because this is going to be one of his best years in ball. 328 average. He hit 320-something one other time. I think it was maybe 1970, if I had to guess. But in 75, 9 home runs, still a -2 arm catcher. Beyond this year, he's not going to have that extremely high batting average or that great throwing arm. And he'll eventually move to Oakland for a year and then return. Does get another World Series ring in 79 for the Pirates versus the Orioles. Bases loaded, playing back. Here's the pitch to Manny Sanguillen. 180 comes through with a base hit in the right field. 1 run scores. Oliver will not take on the Reggie Smith arm. They want to go for crooked number run inning here. So they're loaded with, still with one out. Station to station, and it's going to be Dave Parker. 5-10 off of Gibby is a strikeout. Big strikeout for Bob Gibson on his column. And now it's Gene Lamont. 1-6 is a K. That extra lefty has not helped today. Over. But it's 3-0 Pittsburgh. Still leaving a lot of men on. Bottom of the fifth. With a 3-0 game, let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, the Cardinals, one thing in this series, they've been the front runner, and they've yet to make a comeback to get a win. They would need to do that today if they really want to sweep. See what they're made of. All right, number 8 hitter, Mike Phillips. 2-5 flies to center. Kenny Reitz, 1-7 pops to second base. Back up top to Lou Brock, 33. Pops to first. No leadoff man gets on in that inning. 3-zip into the 6th. Larry Milbourne. 1-7. Single on a 14. Cannot get it. Moreno, 2-7. Does get a single to left field. You want to steal with 1 out? With Hebner up? He draws a lot of walks. Let's let him take some pitches here. Hebner, 54, and he finds Gibson finally in this game. 5-4. Homer, 1 of 13, double the rest. Cannot, hits the top of the wall for a 2-base hit. Moreno's quick. 16, he's going to take on the arm of McBride in center, and he scores on a 10. It's 4-0 Pirates. This is sort of what we expected the series to be like. It's taken now a 4th game for it to finally materialize, though. 4-zip Pirates. Runner at second for Rennie Stennett. 35 grounds to short. And with 2 outs, Oliver, 55, finds Gibson again in the column. Triple 1 to 16. It's another double, and it's 5-zip. Willie Stargell, 68, pops to second base. Well, folks, these games that have been playing here have not been particularly entertaining, in my opinion. But they're being broadcast because it's a big story if the Cardinals were to get the win. There've been a lot of miscues, men left on base, bad defense, and so forth. Big leads, teams trying to make frantic comebacks, but it hasn't really been, tight, I would say. Let's see if the Cardinals can tighten this up a little bit in the bottom of the 6th. Candy's a starter 7, Gibson's a starter 8. Bottom of the 6th, it's Tommy Harper. 3-10 flies to left. McBride, 64. Triple 1 to 9, double. It's a triple. Cardinals have a runner at third. They'll play it back with a big 5-run lead. Reggie Smith. Center be question mark. Got to get a run on the board. McBride, it'll be a 19. He'll score. And with 2 outs, it's Simmons, 48. He pops to first. So Candy surrenders a run, still with a big 4-run lead. Top of 7, Gibson will continue. It'll be Sanguian. 65, short X. Phillips, a 3, 48 at short. That's the best they can do. They're in dire need of a Gary Templeton to show up in St. Louis. That'll probably happen next year. Dave Parker, 67, lines the 3rd. And also the Cardinals will probably get rid of Torrey and have Keith Hernandez come up next year. And those moves will start to improve this Cardinal a lot. Gene Lamont, 2-7 is a strikeout. Is there any defense the Pirates could bring into this game? Well, yeah, they could put Gene Lamont, get rid of him. And they could put Theodore, a 3 in left field. And that's the only move. And Pop Stargell will be the new DH. 5-1 game, stretch time here in St. Louis. We've been enjoying this Getting Funkier All the Time, the complete Josie reprise and Warner recordings of the meters. This is 5 hours and 30 minutes. You get this thing, and you just let her roll and do what you need to do, folks. You gotta wash the dishes, you gotta clean out the sump pump, as long as it's in earshot, you can get a lot of stuff done with the meters playing in the background pretty much all through the afternoon. Yep. Getting funkier all the time in your home with the meters. There you go. let's get back to the game. All right, bottom of the 7th, the Candyman. He will continue. He is a starter 7. He's had a great start. Now we look at it, these leadoff men have only accumulated 4 hits and a run, so he'll keep going here. Joe Torre. 2-8. Speaking of leadoff hits, there is one. Now you got Mike Tyson. 58's a strikeout. Mike Phillips, 2-7's a strikeout. And with 2 outs, Kenny Reitz, 1-7 is a pop to second base. Well, kind of a dull day here in St. Louis. We go to the 8th. Gibby's a starter 8 and a fan favorite, of course, as you can imagine, so he'll continue. Larry Milbourne, 34, pops short. Omar Moreno, 43, left X. Out in left field is Harper's a 3-4, and he makes the catch. Back up top to Hebner. 45, flies to left field. You know, I'm looking at the Hebner defense, and I can't improve upon it, really. He's stuck out there as, in air quotes, the best defensive third baseman they have. And that could be a weakness to be exploited as the season would progress. 5-1, bottom of the 8th, the Candyman. He's going to keep mowing them down here in the top of the 8th. It's Lou Brock. Been on twice. 62, a comebacker to the mound. Tommy Harper, 4-4, third X here. Just speak of the devil, it's Hebner. And that's going to be a base hit. Now, you get this single ... in the first inning, we have a completely different ball game, maybe. But we get it now with 1 out. Double A stealer, you're not going to steal with down 4. It's McBride. 4-12, flies to left. And with 2 outs, Reggie Smith. 38 is a strikeout. The Candyman can, because he mixes it with something that makes the world taste good, and so forth and so on. So, yeah. 8 innings in the books for both starters. Gibby will stay in the dugout. We'll have Chuck Taylor go out for the 9th. Chuck Taylor was a Cardinal, later an Expo in 74 with them. 6 wins, a 2.17 ERA, and 108 innings. He sets up Rabowski if there are save situations. Getting some work here in the 9th. Chuck Taylor. And it'll be Rennie Stennett. 1-8, flies to left. Al Oliver, 65, center. And Stargell, 2-6, and that is gone for Pop Stargell. It is 6-1. Another non-intriguing game. Andy Sangian, 69, flies to center field. The Candy's going to go for a complete game. This might be the first of his career with a new card. So let's see if he can get it. 6-1 game. It's Simmons. 1-6, homer 1-14, and he gets it. It's 6-2. All right, Joe Torre, 2-7, grounds third. Mike Tyson, 2-9, grounds short. And with 2 outs, Mike Phillips, 2-5, flies to center. There's your ball game. Complete game for Candyman, giving up a couple runs. It's a 6-2 victory. Bob Gibson takes the loss. We'll have the box score for this one and the results of games 5, and if there's the games 6 and 7 back in Pittsburgh. Those pitching matchups I can give now for games 5, 6, and 7. Here in St. Louis for game 5, it will be a rematch of Alan Foster for the Pirates, Bob Forsch for St. Louis. Then back in Pittsburgh, a rematch of John Curtis for the Cardinals, Bruce Keeson for the Pirates. And if it goes to game 7, Jim Rooker for the Pirates, Jackie Brown for the Cardinals. So those would be the matchups. So stick around, see what's up in the National League North. Well, folks, here's the box score of the game you just saw. Pirates get a convincing 6-2 victory with John Candelaria. Complete game 7 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 3 Ks. Bob Gibson got knocked around in 8 innings, 12 hits, and 5 runs. So, can the Cardinals win a game 5 and win the series? Well, Alan Foster for the visiting Pirates against Bob Forsch. And Bob Forsch gets knocked around. Somebody woke the Pirates up. The alarm clock went off in Pittsburgh. We're on Pittsburgh time now. RBI triple Stargell. That should tell you something. 2-run double Hebner. Bases loaded walk Hebner. 2-run single Al Oliver. 7-3 game. Again, the losing team tries to rally late, falls short. It's a 7-6 victory for the Pirates. Alan Foster, 6 2/3, 7 hits. It is Dave Justy, the Pirate closer, asked to get a 2-inning save, and he converts. And a disappointing start for Bob Force. 7 innings, 11 hits, 6 runs allowed. Okay, let's go back to Pittsburgh now. Oh boy, our narrative was broadcast worthy. Now back in Pittsburgh, it's John Curtis for the Cardinals. Bruce Keeson for the Pirates. This is another, I just called it a clunker game. The final is 8-3. You get a Dave Parker 3-run homer. Start-O gets a 2-run homer. Okay, let's end the game. It's 5-zip, you know. The Pirates get more runs off of Frank Lindsay, the mop-up guy. A 2-run triple and a sac fly. Bruce Keeson gets the first 2 outs to the 9th, and then the Cardinals just keep reaching single walk, single. I just don't feel like going to the bullpen, frankly. Just get the thing over with. Keeson finally finishes a complete game, 8-3 victory, even though he hit the point of weakness. 9 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, and a very comfortable 8-3 win for the Pirates, which forces, and what has turned out to be, I gotta say, a pretty lackluster series. I know what Pittsburgh is now doing is a little bit more significant than what the Cardinals were attempting to do. Cardinals front-running 3 wins at the beginning. Pirates getting down, systematically dismantling the overachievers. Let's see what happens in Game 7. First inning, Cardinals walk. Harper stolen base. A single. 3 runs in the first for the Cardinals. 4 runs at the bottom for the Pirates. Yep. Hebner and Stennett get out, and you think the inning's over. Nope. Oliver single, Stargell single, Sangan single, Parker single, Lamont double, walk. Jackie Brown for the Cardinals, Jim Rooker for the Pirates. After the first inning, it seems like the teams lacked interest of what to do beyond this. In the 5th inning, we get an RBI triple by Parker. Again, Pittsburgh just playing with their food. RBI double by pinch hitter Theodore. It's 6-3. They get, what is this? Justy comes in again to attempt a 2-inning save. The first battery faces Reggie Smith. It's a solo home run to some quiet applause in the Cardinal dugout. It's now 6-4. But he gets 6 of the next 7 outs to complete the not-so-improbable 0-3 comeback for the Pirates. And if you're wondering about this scenario, down 0-3 in a 7-game series, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's not as astonishing as one might think if you want to go back to what history suggests with what Boston did to the Yankees way back in the day. I've had teams come back 0-3 more frequently, quantitatively, to count those up versus the number of times I've actually gotten a Cy Young. It's not a Cy Young, a no-hitter. So I believe I'm between 6 and 10 no-hitters all time. Forever. Since I was a little kid playing this game. That's it. Somewhere within that. But coming back 0-3 with the amount of games I played, it happens, many more times. I just want to put that out there. But do not diminish anything about what the Pittsburgh Pirates just did. Because what they have done, when we look at the standings, they have showed that, yeah, you can get, in the first round, the guy could come out blazing, bloody your nose, hit you on the tarp, standing 8 count, and the Pirates a little dazed and confused, but they came back, hung in there, and they just knocked it out and played with the St. Louis Cardinals, who are now, unfortunately, 3.5 games back. It's been a great story for the Cardinals. They could still possibly get in as a wild card of the National League, though the competition is fierce. The Reds aren't particularly happy with that state of affairs, as they're now tied, and they still have to play the Cubs, who could be spoiler at this point. But that's the story. Let's look at some stats before we go here. I wanted to check out some numbers for the squads. Particularly Lou Brock has 22 stolen bases in 30 games. So he had 118. Let's just divide that by 162. Okay, and then multiply that times the number of games, 30, that the Cardinals have played. 21.85 stolen bases through 30 games. He's got 22. So he's really doing exactly what he would have done in that 118 stolen base season, which is good. I was concerned that he was getting gunned down too much. He's doing very well. As a matter of fact, Tommy Harper has 14 stolen bases, and he had 58 of those. So the two guys, project to about 170, 180 steals in a full season. They got 36 to easily lead all of baseball. Has got this team competitive at 500. Net runs has gotten worse, as you can imagine, for the Cardinals, and they're now a negative 10. Cardinals hitting 279 with a really bad 4.58 ERA. Your Pirates are hitting 289 with a very respectable 3.47 ERA. The run differential is now 129 minus 115. It's a plus 14, and they're 7 over 500. So I think the Pirates, as crazy as to say, going down 0-3 might have been the thing that has helped them the most. Being down 0-3 and knowing that you can come back, because they might need that, they might need this bit of history to replicate or attempt if they fall behind, if they get to and play in the playoffs. That's it. Break up your Pittsburgh Pirates, another 0-3 comeback in a 7-game series, beating the Cardinals 4-3. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.